Call of Duty Black Ops on Xbox One X. Now this is an enhanced, but obviously runs a bit better because it is on the One X. Thought I'd check this out. It's a very interesting Call of Duty. So in the main menu, kind of here, it's very interesting because you're like locked in a chair and there's campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. And you can actually jump out by clicking the two back triggers. It's kind of a neat little thing. You can like walk around the room. Kind of cool. So yeah, we're going to start with the campaign. We're going to show off each of the areas of the game so you can hop in between them if there's anything particular you want to check out. I remember playing this on Veteran and it kind of glitched and it didn't give me the achievements. I didn't get the overall achievement for Veteran because it didn't count two of the middle levels. I think it was like these two it didn't count, and I was like, I don't want to go back and do that. Anyways, we are going to jump into Project Nova, and we're going to just do that from the resume. And we're going to be playing on normal, so there's, you know, the different difficulties and different sections. You get intense cutscenes. You're playing as Mason for the most part. You're joined with Woods. And you've got a little bit of a squad as you're dealing with this sort of special Nova 6 nerve gas. And it takes place during the Cold War. It's very interesting because it sort of weaves through history. And I'd say this is one of the better entries in the franchise just in terms of the narrative and the campaign. It was very interesting, very gripping, dark, and intense. And yeah, it takes place 16 years after the events of World at War, which is COD 5, the previous entry from Treyarch. Obviously this is a Treyarch title. And it takes place between 61 and 68, so you get to see some really neat sort of Cold War perspectives as you deal with this as like the best of the best or whatever, going behind enemy lines, meeting historical characters, again kind of moving in between the narrative, and I think that aspect of it's very interesting. So we got our buddy here. The visuals actually hold up quite well considering how old the title is. This was always one of the, I don't know, as you say, better ones in the franchise overall, just at least, you know, purely on the campaign. Really well done. There's also really good zombies mode. I like the multiplayer, and we're going to show those off a bit later. But yeah, the whole marker kind of going over things. Now, I mean, it does look a little bit rough around the edges. I don't know how it's going to look in, like, you know, on the video format of things. But on the 4K screen, it is a little bit jagged. But for it actually still does look pretty good, at least, you know, for the time. The character models, the environments are well detailed. There was always something about, particularly, the Black Ops franchise. It had like a grittier look, which I think holds up a bit better over time, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's obviously not perfect, but it's still a really well done game. Quite lovely to take in. And we're going to be going in for some intense action here, so that should be really exciting as we go in and blast some people away. Again, it's a very mysterious story, and I don't really want to kind of spoil anything if you haven't jumped in, but I think this is a pretty good mission to do so without, you know, really going into it too much as we're kind of getting going. Come on, guys, we don't got all day. But yeah, you get very detailed weapons, and it's sort of a neat variety of weapons, and that kind of transfers over to the multiplayer. The multiplayer was also one of the first ones that was kind of like fun and silly a little bit. Not to say that they didn't have some, you know, neat game modes and other Call of Duties previously, but this is like where they really introduced more of a mix into the franchise. And you're getting that variety because you can still kind of dip a little bit into the World War setting that, you know, was before this, but you're also kind of modernizing the weapons too, which is really interesting. And alright, so as you can tell, we've jumped into the actual action here, very much a Call of Duty title, but you also get this one a little bit larger of a sense of scale. And you know, I suppose all the entries kind of do that. Call of Duty, they like to add like a bigger theater of war, but I was very impressed with the size of this one, just the feeling that you're part of a squad at some points in it. I mean, it's Black Ops, so sometimes there's more stealth oriented action, but a lot of them have like a greater sense of conflict going on, you know, that there's a big battle waging on. You're not necessarily just like a total one-man army in this one all the time. And you get these big, large kind of scenes. And again, with the gas kind of coming into it, it does have like that really intense, eerie style. And you will definitely be a little bit shocked by what happens if you're not familiar with the story in this one. It is truly surprising and really, you know, kind of unlike things that came before it. I mean, obviously, Modern Warfare was very gritty. World at War was very gritty. But it's just, you know, it's pretty intense. I gotta be honest. Let's get in here. Just kind of blasting guys away. I mean, it's normal difficulty. It's not too big of a deal, right? You can still die, but which I hope not to, because I don't want to embarrass myself. Just want to kind of show off the gameplay here before switching over to another component of it. Where are we getting shot from in the back? Come on, guys. On Insane, you just be like, or Insane Veteran, you just die like crazy. Look at my gears in my mind, which is similar to the time. Anyways, moving on, you get like mostly linear environments, but there is a sense of freedom, like with any Call of Duty. You know, you're funneled to certain places for cinematic moments and cutscenes and stuff like that. But you do get to go out and choose how you tackle certain situations. You'll get some elements of elevation to it. Okay, that's not good. That's not good at all. And there's like intel collectibles to find along the way, so those are kind of good to pick up if you find them. I don't think I ever ended up getting all of them for this one. I think I was going to do a collectible run after the veteran thing, but I was so turned off by the achievement not working that I was just like, nope. Some destruction elements too. Yeah, I definitely think the visuals are looking really good in the campaign. It's not as jagged because, you know, just the style, like the textures in here. Yeah, it does actually hold up quite well and play very smoothly. And then the game's always gotta have this stupid cinematic after you quit out of everything. I'll never forget that stupid play thing. Yeah, so the multiplayer, lots of fun. We'll have to see how many people are still playing at this point, because it is quite old and there's so many Call of Duty titles. I know Zombies still has a life here for sure, but the multiplayer we'll have to give a look into. So yeah, we've got the wager matches were a lot of fun. So these are ones where you kind of like do like you bid on things. Oh, ante up, low buying fees, parties loud. That's cool. Yeah, really interesting. Oh, and this was the one where you could have a custom player card, which is a new system. Your own little emblem and stuff. I made like a COD 4 117. You get the Canadian flag in the background. Yeah, so I played quite a lot of this. I think this was like the first COD where I really didn't go all the way prestiging wise. I think it was like what, 7th or something, like 7 days. Pretty cool. Hopefully we don't get any glitched lobbies. So there's the wager matches, and then there was combat training where you kind of do dummies, which was stupid, and the theater mode, which was nice, and the private matches, which I guess would be good. So you can find a match and we'll see kind of how things are. Wow, that's a lot of players still in deathmatch. I usually play Demolition, which is obviously not as popular anymore. I feel bad for, was there one person in one of the playlists? I don't know if I just missaw that, but yeah, it's interesting. There's still a fairly healthy community here, and then the bare bones. And hardcore, of course. I'm surprised hardcore is still so popular. And the DLC mosh pits and stuff, if you want to just play DLC content, because they had the traditional map packs and everything come into this. We'll just go quickly do the private thing, so you can just see the maps that are available. Large selection of them, pretty solid actually, very unique ones. You've probably seen them in later entries, been redone a number of times. I know some of them have been. And then the DLC maps were actually really neat. I remember that one being very different. Discovery was good. I don't like that one. Stadium was really interesting because it's like a hockey rink. Blown away by that. Convoy, I don't remember liking too much. Hotel was pretty cool. That was alright. Zoo, yeah, it was actual. That one was really neat. The drive-in, oh my god, yeah, the DLC maps were actually really neat. Hazard's a remake of a World at War map, and they did like a whole golf course, Hangar 18. Yes, these are actually pretty good DLC maps. I remember that. I was like, oh, these hold up well. The only way I was able to find a match was by playing team deathmatch, so yeah, that's what we're dealing with today, which is weird because the other ones have so many players involved. It's weird, but anyways, finally into multiplayer. Yeah, I entirely gave up on trying to to join in. Like, I tried gun game, I tried like demolition, and it just wasn't working. So I don't know. Yeah, it shoots a little bit differently than I remember. Oh yeah, I forgot this was the one where they had you could like kind of cut your your clan into the gun there. You see like the rough thing, and they had the rough looking guns. This was before things started getting a little bit silly in terms of like colors and options like that. Oh, come on. Yeah, the guns definitely shoot a little bit different than I'm used to. Probably should have practiced beforehand, but when you can't get into a match, kind of take what you can get, right? Just because I did want to show off the multiplayer component of this. Jesus. I have to switch up guns here. I remember the MP5 being a little bit more deadlier. But then again, it has been years for this one and a little bit for other Call of Duty titles. Yeah, this map, not really a fan of it from the DLC, but the other ones are pretty good. I don't know if it's because it's favors DLC, that's why we're having issues finding regular matches, but yeah, that could be a factor into it. There we go. So yeah, standard multiplayer, you got your perks, you know, your kill streaks. This is when they really started like sort of experimenting with things, changing it up, a little, you know, still got that like kind of over the top arcadey thing. I believe this map even has like these zipline things on it from what I remember, which are a little bit silly. But yeah, it's still kind of a traditional Call of Duty kind of multiplayer experience at this point. Nothing too wild, but this was, of course, you know, that launching pad for them to get a little bit crazier over time. That's definitely true. We got the FAMAS. Thought I had like a Galil, but I might be, yeah, because it's level 38 in this one. I might not have it. But yeah, you know, you get your grenades and everything still. That was kind of neat. The wager matches are a lot of fun. It's a real shame that I couldn't get in one to kind of show off the gameplay of it. Because gun game is just like, you know, a ride. You've probably played it if you've seen the recent Call of Duties. And there's like one in the chamber where you get one bullet, and then, you know, the other one too. Just a little bit disappointed. Oh yes, the kill cams. As into it as I was with the other ones, but it was alright. Oh yeah, and the contracts, you can have contracts, you can pay for them to kind of get money. The whole money system, that was really built into the wagering kind of thing, and you can see the kill streaks that were present, definitely expanded upon. Damn, attack dog, so annoying. But still not too over the top. I'm going to go into create a class. Lots of different gun types, you know, you get shotguns, light machine guns, assault rifles, pretty typical, submachine guns. You know, between then and now, I don't think the guns have really changed that much at all through the years. A little bit more deadlier now, but the things are kind of the same, and then you get like more kind of gun skins. And this is when you had to earn in-game currency to actually get gun skins and stuff, and you could change the reticles up too if you had the attachment on. Yeah, this was the day. Well, the good old days. Cracked. I think this map sucks. Whatever. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was a little bit more classic. I think we're maybe leaning a bit back to that in some games. I don't know. Oh, I do have the Galil. I just didn't name the classes. We'll rock that one off the start here. So yeah, if you can get into the other game modes, they're fun, but looks like you're just kind of stuck with team deathmatch. I never understand why this game mode is so popular with people. I personally find it really boring and pointless because you're not really doing anything. You're just wandering around shooting people. But I guess if that's a thing that people like, I mean, whatever. I personally like the objectives, but I can't get a match for that one. This map looks a little bit more jagged, but for the most part it holds up well. The game is very smooth running on here. It's nice. Alright, here we are in the zombies. Normally I'd play an online match, but I don't really want to back out or get too involved. But yeah, you get Kino der Toten 5, there's the Dead Ops arcade, and then DLC-wise there was Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon. I think Ascension was kind of the best of them. Call of the Dead was really good aside from the director guy chasing you. It was Romero or something. Yeah. Shangri-La is kind of really cool, but way too crowded and intense. And then Moon was too hard. Moon also came with like a classic pack, and this is just awesome. Kino der Toten, Verrückt, Shi No Numa, and Darius. Classic maps from World at War, looking great here. So we're just going to do a private match, and we're going to do it on Kino, because that's like the one to do it with. Oh, I guess what is it, like solo? Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, 5 you get to play as like the presidents and Castro, which is kind of funny. Good voices in there. There's like a bit of a story, but this was really some of the last maps that were actually zombie maps that you could play without having to do some kind of like silly Easter egg. You could actually just enjoy them, which was really nice. Just survival, and I think that's where my favorite time with zombies was just like being able to survive in a map without having to do some kind of ridiculous goal or something like that in order to continue along. I think it kind of lost its way once that happened. So what you're doing in zombies, usually in a squad of 4, that's where it's best. You can obviously play it by yourself. The zombies sort of change based on that. You're cutting up zombies with your knife in the first few rounds, you get more points, but yeah, you're building boards up. You're collecting these thingies, connecting things. Well, not in this one, that was Derice, you're connecting them. But yeah, and then you're trying to go and pack a punch your guns, which makes them all cool and colorful looking and more powerful, which is nice. You grab perks that kind of make you better. Well, quick revive is kind of essential for this because it'll bring you back when you're by yourself. But in a group, you can buy it and patch each other up. If you haven't played in years and you're coming back to it, don't forget they added Mule Kick. So there's actually 5 perks and you can only hold 4. Mule Kick lets you have a 3rd gun, so they kind of added that one in. You buy guns off the wall or the mystery box, which is a lot of fun. And you move around a rather large map. There's a few different maps, obviously, that I mentioned, and DLC content maps if you're still ambitious and want to grab those. Personally, I think Ascension's the only real... Well, you know what? The Moon one, the Resurrection map pack, I believe, is probably the most worthwhile of the options, just because it gives you those classic zombie maps. Oh no, we're low on honor. That's great. So yeah, you get some wit, and then you just go around and you try to survive against the zombies. Again, it's best as a cooperative experience, and if I wasn't just doing video, I'd be playing multiplayer with other people, like I've done recently, actually. I went back and played with my friends stuff. Yeah, it was kind of cool to go back to it and shoot up some zombies, because the game still holds up quite well, and it's quite a lot of fun. Open doors and stuff like that. You can turn on the power, usually is a goal for a lot of the maps. I guess I could start opening up areas, which is not really my play style, but I just want to show off more of it, I guess, so you get an idea of what to expect in the zombies. And this might be where a box spawns. It kind of rotates around the map. Again, really kind of creepy. There's the Mule Kick on this one. And all the maps, they've got like different styles to them, different feelings. Some are more narrow, some are more built for like, you know, kind of exploration and stuff like that. Insta-kill. But you get like power-ups pop up occasionally and you can use them. And insta-kill, usually you just like knife, but trying to get through these guys faster. And it's got a limited run, so you know you gotta use it while you can. There's also traps you can unleash, which are kind of nice. I really like this one, Kino der Toten. I think it might be my, I don't know if it's my favorite zombie map, but works really well, flows well. I've had some really long games in here and some good times, and it's lots of fun. Oh, acquire more money. Oh no. But yeah, that's kind of what the zombies experience is in this game. You know, you're surviving the undead with your friends or other random people online. There's some matchmaking, everything like that, which still works perfectly fine, because I have done it recently. Not like the multiplayer, which seems to be a little glitchy. Maybe the player count in lobbies just aren't accurate to what actually player counts there are. That could be the issue with the multiplayer, I'm guessing. I don't know. A little bit disappointed, needless to say. Because I did really like the multiplayer this one. The wager matches were fun. And I know the newer ones have an evolution of that, but still not quite the same. Yeah, I'm gonna open this door and go to the stage. I think visually, you know, it is jagged, but it kind of like, just the style of the grittiness seems to make this a little bit, you know, less bad than some of the other titles that I've played. Just because it was so unclean, I guess it kind of worked out for Treyarch in the long run. So then generally, yeah, Black Ops, playing good, looking good. Still quite a lot of fun to experience, whether you're playing the campaign or you're fending off against hordes of the undead by yourself or with friends, which is suggested. Or I guess if you're playing some multiplayer, as I get down to, that's embarrassing. The dual pistols because I'm by myself. Yeah. Don't worry, it's kind of a bad spot here. I just want to kind of use the mystery box, though. Then you'd open up the theater door, and then you can turn on the power. There's like all these kind of strategies too that you would deploy.
I will unleash this great power.
Oh wow, the thunder gun. Huge fan favorite, but I personally don't find it too effective just because it blows them around. I'd rather have a gun where I can actually like shoot them up and stuff like that. But all goes down to personal preference. Am I right? So, anyways, yeah, that's the end of kind of showing off the zombies and the overall game. Quite a lot of fun and nice to revisit this one as we jump to the Hellhounds.
Must be destroyed.
So we're getting ready to roll in here and hopefully shoot some people up. Eventually, I picked the most like narrative-driven pre-discussion thing we could have anticipated.